Hey guys, Chris from Propel here, and today we're going to be checking out the Kinekt 2.1 seat post. Now previously the seat post was called Bodyfloat, and they kind of went through some different name transitions, but right now it's called the Kinekt. And this is it. So basically, most people call this a suspension seat post. They identify it as an isolating seat post, and the idea is that you're isolated from the bumps in the road. I just find that it works really well. So whatever you want to call it, I like it. I mean, this is the seat post that we recommend as the best one on the market. I really found that to be the case. One of the main reasons why I find it to be the best one is because it's really fine-tunable. You can change the springs out according to your body weight, and then you can adjust the preload on the suspension by tightening down this screw in the back. So you basically just tighten this up, and then you can get the suspension set up exactly how you need it. Really, especially when you're riding an electric bike, if you're riding a little bit faster, you'll find that the bumps in the road can tend to be a little bit more prominent because everything, as you go faster, you feel those bumps more. So having a suspension seat post like this makes a lot of sense. Now, there's some cons to this though. You're gonna add a little bit of weight to the bike, but I find it's really well worth it. I mean, generally speaking, when I'm thinking of electric bike, I think there's always this balance between comfort and weight, and it makes a little bit more sense on an electric bike. Since you have the motor, you might as well just make the bike more comfortable. So that's my school of thought. Not everybody agrees there, but I think this seat post is well worth the slight weight penalty you might see. Now this post is available in several different sizes. You start with the diameter of the actual seat tube, and if you actually look at the packaging, which I can show you, it shows you all the different options. We have it on our website as well, but you can go anywhere from 25.4 up to 31.6. And these are all the most common sizes: 25.4, 27.2, 30.9, and 31.6. Now you might find you have a bike that, say, it has a diameter of 29.6 or something weird like that. So in that case, if it was 29.6, which could happen, what I would do is get the 27.2 and then get a shim to make the seat post a little bit larger, and it'll fit in that 28.6. Similarly, we sell a lot of bikes from manufacturer Reese & Mueller, and their diameter is 34.9, so we take the 31.6 with a 34.9 shim, and it goes to there. You can also see that it's available in different materials. You have alloy, and then you have carbon. For electric bikes, most of the time we're finding people just stick with the alloy, but certainly if you wanted to, you can go with carbon and save a little bit of weight and potentially even gain some dampening properties from the carbon. Then you have the rider weight. The rider weight, it's available anywhere from 100 pounds up to 320 pounds at the top level. Now the standard post will go from 100 to 150, then it goes 150 to 200, and then 200 to 260. Then from there, we have this XL post. This is actually new for this year. This is called the XL2. And if you look at these two in comparison, you could see that this spring and kind of the body of it is much beefier. So this is the one that you're gonna see for the 260 to 320. So if you're a bit of a heavy rider, you wanna opt for this seat post. But if you're within this range, you can stick with this post, and then you could just swap out the springs accordingly. These are the black springs. This is 150 to 200. You might see the springs in different sort of configurations. This is silver and it has a black line on it. Similarly, you might see some that are kind of a darker gray with the orange line on it. Now keep in mind, these springs are different lengths, so if you're gonna swap them out, you just wanna make sure you get the right top and bottom. But it's pretty straightforward as far as swapping those out. Now, as I showed, you can adjust the preload with this 4mm screw in the back. You can also opt to add this quick adjust system, and this allows you just to stick a pin or something like that in here, or even when it's relatively loose, you can adjust this with your thumb. So that's really nice if you wanted to adjust it on the fly. Now, you might be wondering, when and why am I going to want to adjust this preload? Generally, I say you get the springs according to your weight. So if you're in that 150 to 200, like I am, I would get the black springs, and then I would sit on the bike. Usually it's helpful if you have a friend. If you could sit on the bike, I usually try to adjust the preload so it's a little bit tight when I'm sitting on it. Generally, I only want to see about a 10 to 20% compression as I sit on the bike, but some people like it a little bit softer, so you're going to see more compression, and you'll leave this preload a little bit looser. But it's really just a matter of personal preference. I should note that a lot of bikes that we sell, people sit more upright, so you end up putting a lot more weight on the seat or the saddle. So as a result, you're going to compress the springs a little bit more. You might end up opting for a spring that's a little bit heavier than you would normally find. If you're sitting very upright, say you're normally in this black, you might want to up one of the springs to say an orange or something like that, so you can accommodate that additional weight that you're putting on the back there. But it really is going to depend on your rider setup, and if you have any questions about that, leave them in the comments or reach out to us, or if you're in the shop, it's easy for us to help you out with that. Other details I should mention, this will fit any standard saddle or any modern saddle for that matter. There are some older bikes where the saddle might use a clamp that goes on the top of the seat post. I mean, most modern bikes don't use that style seat post, but that can exist. And the last thing I should mention, I didn't call out before, this is a 350 millimeter length. It's also available in a 420 millimeter length. That's really helpful if, say, you have a smaller frame bike, but you need that, more seat post extension, or maybe you're sharing a bike between two different people. That's quite common on cargo bikes especially. You have, one rider's a little bit shorter, one that's taller. Having that 420 millimeter length gives you a lot of flexibility there. And another detail that could be helpful for that 420 millimeter is for like folding bikes, compact bikes. Generally the frame is way lower and the seat tube where the seat post goes into is shorter, so having a longer post will be really helpful. Another accessory that I wanted to show is the dust cover. So basically it's just kind of a sock for your seat post, and it just keeps all the dust or dirt or whatever out of this area. So really nice accessory, especially if you're riding in a dirty, dusty area. And yeah, just kind of slips right on there, and something you might want to consider. Some people also like it just because it kind of hides the post a little bit more. So if you're in an area, maybe you're concerned about theft, it's not as prominent. So something to consider. And I think that's about it, what I want to cover on this today. I just say that performance on this is really great. If you have an opportunity to test one, or if you're having some comfort issues with your electric bike, this is a really great way to improve the comfort and really almost give you the feeling like you have a full suspension bike with a hardtail. So if you have any questions about this, just leave them in the comments below or reach out. We're always happy to help. And if you'd like to purchase this, we do have it available on our website, and you can see the link below for that as well. Well, I look forward to seeing you in a future video, and see you soon.